Does the president get to sit with all the people that he is nominating before he sends their names to the Senate? Does the president get to sit with them and have conversation with them?
Cowdy, I'm sorry, I'm not in any position to answer that question. I cannot.
Okay. Now, people have also said that it might help the Senate in screening these individuals if they knew what portfolios they were going to be given, so that they would ask them questions relevant to that particular job which they're going to undertake. What's your opinion of this?
That is neither here nor there. What you need is, you need a man of integrity, a man with some reasonable knowledge and intellect, a Nigerian, a patriot, and a loyal citizen. Now, you will understand that, when ministers are, appointed, ministers are political appointees, really speaking. They are political appointees, the issue is not whether I am an engineer or I'm an architect, therefore I must be in the Ministry of Works. Otherwise, when the presidents do reshuffle, what happens? If he have been interviewed by the Senate for position of Minister for Health, for instance, I'm a doctor, and the president sends my name to the Senate, and I'm passed. I'm told. The Senate is told that I'm going to be Minister for Health because I'm a doctor. You understand? Now I go into the Health Ministry. In about 6 months' time, some issues happen for which the president requires my expertise elsewhere in another ministry. For instance, information. And say, okay, Doyin, you're also good in information, and you have some problems in information. Come and go to the Ministry of Information. So what is the purpose? So the important thing is to certify that this person is of a good quality, of a good caliber, of the reasonable intellect and loyalty and patriotism to serve his country. In parliamentary system, other parliamentary system, members of parliament are made to supervise various ministries, and it has nothing to do with their profession. So, we should not belabor that point. A man that is qualified, a graduate with good experience, who has distinguished himself in the society, who has some sense of loyalty, can run any ministry. After all, everybody that is running any ministry is not running it by himself. He is running it for and on behalf of the president who has appointed him. He carries on the programs of Mr. President. Each minister is a representative of the president in his ministry. So the man who drives the vehicle of government is the president.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Okupe. Let's just bring the discussion into the studio for the meantime. Mr. Tokunbo Odutola, a legal practitioner, is with us in the studio in Lagos, and we're still expecting Mr. Biodun Shomi. But, Mr. Odutola, you have heard all that Dr. Okupe has said. Let me start from the last issue, which is the expertise of the president's nominees. And I remember sometime last year, there was plenty of argument and toing and froing regarding the expertise of the nominees and the ministries to which they were going to be deployed, and the Senate not having such information and therefore not being able to ascertain whether these were going to be square pegs in round holes or whatever. What do you think about them actually having information regarding the portfolio which these individuals were going to take on?
Well, if I were to share Dr. Okupe's opinion in view of the fact that there could be a reshuffle in the system, I would say yes. The main provision of the Constitution for appointment of ministers is that the
the ministers shall be appointed and confirmed by the Senate. The requirement of fixing their portfolio both at state and federal level in most cases does not occur. It only occurs at the point of swearing in. What we want is somebody who is capable, somebody who has integrity, somebody who has the know-how of what he's going to do. However, this whole process is a three-pronged process. There's a legal aspect, there's a political aspect, and there's a moral aspect. The legal aspect is appoint ministers, Mr. President, ensure that at least each state has a representative, ensure that there is equity, the federal character is reflected in your appointment. That is the legal provision. The political provision says for forms of government, let fools contend. Whatever is best administered is best. So if Mr. President decides to pick my Megad as Minister of Aviation, is his team. It reflects, as he has said, on who our president is. The football coach, I think it's Keshi now, if he decides to take a defender for the midfield, I'm not so good at football, I think he bears the consequences. Now, if we look at the moral aspect, the moral aspect is, hey, this man has so cases before, this man is not coming to equity with clean hands. The man who went there, I feel he made a blunder himself. The question I read on papers, I didn't watch the interview because for personal reasons now, I have cut off some of these issues in Nigeria. But the question that was thrown to him is, can we know more about you? And the appointee goes and says, I am so who you know have been wrongly accused. I didn't ask you whether you were wrongly accused of being involved in the death of Bola Ige or not. He opened his own can one by himself. And when you look at the political aspect, every state that is part and parcel, the president will consult the states, their leaders, his own political party there. And PDP in Osun, PDP in Lagos, give me some candidates. It happens everywhere. Both PDP, APC, anything, any party that you're in government, you want your people to feel part of this government. That is why in some states you have some people grumbling that, hey, we run the political race, but when it comes to appointment, you say you are bringing in technocrats. Are you saying there are no technocrats in the political party? But in politics, the president wants those who would also play his music, dance to his music, those who will be able to help him futuristic. Look, let's be sincere. 2015 is around the corner. Mr. President would not want to pick anybody who cannot make sure that if he intends contesting in 2015 will help him or will help his party. There are three prongs: politics, legal, moral. We say what is moral might not be legal, so we can understand that. It's not everything moral that is legal. That's the truth. That I have been accused, it's also controversy. That means that candidate or that appointee is surrounded, filled with controversy. The best thing to do morally is to drop such a candidate. Moreover, he himself opened himself up and said, hey, I did not kill him. It's just like the case in the Bible. One says, cut the baby.
But we cannot use that analogy to say that this person might be wrong and for that reason, because the court has freed the man.